to just hold this Zoom.
Okay, let's be silent until we start the Zoom. And if you need something from me to realize, type it up in the chat because I've already started the live stream.
Okay, okay.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Helen Arjuru, and I am joined tonight by a young voice, a man who has worked with me before in a webinar series on supporting young leaders. And tonight we are actually coming to you as Women of Truth for Youth, a summit organized for 7 days the past week in October, really supporting young people and the challenges they are facing. And then I also want to add to that the great, amazing opportunity of really building a future different to the one we've been seeing before all these challenges. After the great 2 years of being pushed out of our comfort zone, a lot of young people have looked at things very differently and have been struggling with mental health issues. We actually are coming onto this live tonight on the day of mental awareness. And it's good to point out that during that time of being pushed out of comfort zones, many of us, young people alike, have been seeing the future very differently. In the summit, however, we've been speaking to experts on youth issues, and we've had the fortune of speaking to also 2 young voices, and again tonight with Jude Anumudu, who runs the Leadership Assembly, who's very devoted towards presenting role models, great voices, great speakers and leaders to his community of young people that are looking to become leaders in the future. And we got from these young voices, young minds, young hearts, obviously the real take on what younger generation people are facing. But our youth experts pointed out quite interestingly that we have an opportunity here to actually look onto the youth and to project into young people the possibility of great change. And this is very hopeful. It's almost the silver lining we really need in order to create a future that looks nothing like the past, that shifts the paradigm entirely. And this is where our conversation is going to focus tonight on what do young people have? What do they bring to the table that we really haven't seen before, that we can maximize and optimize and really support, galvanize together with them to help move things in a totally new direction and really bring them the kind of support and outcome that they deserve into the future. So welcome, Jude Anumudu from the Leadership Assembly. Great to have you with me tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Elaine. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here. To everybody following us all over the world, my name is Jude Anumudu. Thank you for the invitation. I've shared about this summit with my followers and a lot of people across the world. So finally, I'm here this evening. And the Women for Truth Youth Summit. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm looking forward to.
Yes, it's also been a while that we've
been details.
Yes, we've been talking for a while on Facebook, Jude, and I just want everybody to know a little bit more about your following and about the Leadership Assembly. So tell us a little bit about which countries you have leaders, upcoming leaders in your movement, and also tell us a little bit more about you and what got you interested in leadership in general. As I see Jude coming onto the call, I'll just let you know that there was a very special initial meeting between us where I was asked to present on leadership to the community of Leadership Assembly. This has actually been started out of his home country in Africa, and I think the members are global, people from all around the world.
Okay, first of all, my name is Jude.
So Jude, let me just interrupt you for a moment.
One of the biggest countries in African continent.
So Jude, maybe you can terminate the video and just keep the voice running, because I think we're getting a delay on your audio.
Okay.
So it will help if you just talk to us on the audio and clip off the video so that we don't have to worry about interrupting the bandwidth. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think I was having a bit of network challenge.
Yes. So I wanted to know a little bit more about your global reach.
Briefly, I'm Jude. So now we started Leadership Assembly. Leadership Assembly is a non-governmental leadership organization that was started in 2017. And over the years, we have been able to impact a lot of young people across African continent.
Yes, you're across the African continent, and it was started.
Like in all the 50, and we have been able to do some mentorship online. So we have been able to impact many young people. We also have a lot of other people from developed and European countries like US, UK. We have been able to connect with those people, organize leadership training with them virtually. And we have been able to impact a lot of young people across the world. And also through Leadership Assembly, we do a leadership podcast called the Mindset Leadership Podcast. And we also run an annual conference called International Young Leaders Conference. You can see one of the flyers on my Zoom profile picture. You can see the flyers there. We hosted over 1,000 delegates for the conference. The conference was held in August. So we hosted about 1,000 young leaders across the world. Over 1,000 people joined the conference as delegates across the world. And the impact was so massive. It was a massive one that young people were able to know the skills they need to know, they need to learn to become a better leader. Okay, so basically, Leadership Assembly is focused on one simple sentence and one simple vision and mission statement, which is what? To impact young people, to build and teach young people how to become a better leader, to teach them the leadership skill they need to know to succeed in life, because we believe that everything falls and rises on leadership. So wherever field you find yourself in life, leadership is a very key vital skill that every young person must have to succeed and to dominate in any way you find yourself. So this evening too, I'm also going to be focusing on the women, the girl child, the women leader, because when you see our society today, you see that they're being marginalized. They're not given the opportunity to, to be in strategic leadership positions. This is something that is not really encouraging, because research have proven that if the female leader can be given the opportunity, they are likely to outperform, the male leaders. So this evening, I'm going to be encouraging the female leaders across the world that they need to train themselves, build themselves, work on themselves, so that they can prepare themselves for global leadership. Okay, we know how the society and the culture define the women leaders, but this generation, with all the things we are seeing today in the world, and according to so many research are proving that if women can be given the opportunity of leadership, they can do very, very well. So as we continue with the conversation, I'm going to throw more light on what women need to do to become a better leader.
Yeah, so important that we pick up on this wave of female empowerment and female leadership that's been trying to happen to equalize opportunities for women for many, many years and many decades. And I know at times it might feel very confusing for men about what do men do now, what do young men expect from the future? How do they build relationships with these women that also, want to have more power and more of a voice? But really the truth, I think, here is that we want to begin to have equal opportunity across the board, and really to also allow the great contribution that women make to leadership to actually happen, because we know it's wanting to happen. We know that it should be happening, because the research is showing us that when women get involved in leadership, they begin to lobby, they begin to discuss, they are concerned with, and then they begin to present the case for youth issues and health issues. This means that women are bringing a kind of awareness about the family system, about the needs of young people, the needs of those who don't have a voice, because they are often going to end up being the mothers, not always, but they then have a kind of sensitivity, let's say, to what it means to be in close proximity with, representing and caring for a child that is innocent and vulnerable. And so they have to be speaking on behalf of that child. This makes women naturally primed, not always, but often naturally primed to be in tune with the vulnerable a little bit more, with people that need a voice, with people that actually are looking for someone to stand for them. And I mention all this because I think it's very easy to flare up our reactions when we talk about, women being better leaders than men, but it's true in the research we see that women are outperforming men. But the problem here has been that we're just not seeing enough of them. And now post-COVID, Jude, I don't know if you have seen statistics. I haven't seen exactly the numbers, but I've heard from colleagues as I've been speaking online, and Women of Truth has done a lot of work internationally with many women around the world, talking about elevating global female leadership, sharing more of what women's wisdom really is with the whole world, giving this nurturing, feminized, sensitized approach out into educating people. What we see is that even though women are outperforming the men, now post-COVID, even more women have left corporate organizations. They've been so overwhelmed by all the challenges of dealing with the home space, educating kids during lockdown, having to do the job at home. Those who are entrepreneurs really suffered even more. So this to say that we are losing women from the workforce, meaning we're not seeing enough women in the past who could be great leaders, who could be making these decisions about health, about youth, about including some emotional intelligence into how things are happening, into lessening the violence and the conflict that might be around, minimizing competition, improving collaboration. We're not seeing enough of those women doing that and contributing that. And certainly now we start seeing fewer because of the nature of the pandemic, taking people out of the workforce and trying to shuffle things around. Many women have had to find another way to operate. Having said that, we are still here supporting any of you males, young up-and-coming leaders. We're there for you. We want to see you succeed. But we also want to shed a little bit more light on what the women need to do. So I'm very excited by your interest to actually really support these women come into a bigger conversation about how they can share their gift with the world. Let's see if we can go through some of these tips that you have and really support these younger women who are looking to step up into the future, to get really real about what it takes to improve your leadership skills, because it's not so easy to be influential and impactful. You've got to have some substance. I always say that. So you've got to have done something or accomplished something or learned something or embody something that, let's say, encourages other people to want to learn from you. So it's important to focus on what value do you bring to the table. And of course, everyone has value. Everyone's very unique. But to be a true leader means that you get given this permission by others to be the one that is providing them with something they don't have, some value you bring that they can be inspired by. So as we begin the conversation, Jude, let me ask you this. You're in Africa and you see in your community people from all around the world. What do you think are the unique challenges that young people who wish to be leaders nowadays are facing? And maybe you can also comment on women specifically, and then also, if you can, in the third part of my question, you can tell us what you think the challenges are for people on the African continent when it comes to leadership.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ellie, once again. To me, personally, one of the greatest challenges that I feel like a lot of young people in African continent that they are facing, and also both on the gender, both the male and the female, one of the greatest challenges I feel like is lack of proper mentorship. Lack of what? Proper mentorship, yeah. So I think this is a key thing that will need to be addressed in Africa. A lot of young people, they have big vision, they want to go far, they have a lot of vision, but they lack somebody who can train them. Because one thing that mentorship does you, it gives you that training. So that's why you see today in the world, we have many leaders, but they lack training. They don't have those core leadership quality. You see somebody bragging, I'm a leader, I'm that, but the person does not have integrity. He doesn't have good character that every leader is supposed to have, because the person lacks training. The person is not trained.
Very good.
I believe that if young people can have access to quality mentorship, They can have access to quality mentors who give them the access to training, train them those skills they need to have as a leader. This will help them to become a better leader. Even a lot of young people have read so many information about leadership online, those qualities they need to have as a leader, but they are yet to be trained. If you are not trained, it will be difficult for you to, it's just like somebody that wants to be a lawyer. For you to be a lawyer, you need to go to university, you need to go to school and spend a couple of years in school. So once you now have those training in school, that's what licenses you to become a lawyer. So a lot of young people want to become leader, but they don't have that core leadership training, which comes from mentorship. So I believe mentorship is a core issue that we need to address for young people to get to the ladders of becoming a great leader. Then for the female leaders, I believe that because the society, the way they define the female leaders is something else. Okay, I believe for women to to break that yoke and this bondage of culture and community definition of them, they need to invest on their personal development. They need to invest on their personal development. I'm telling you, if you are qualified, if you have trained yourself and you have gone through this mentorship process, I'm telling you, any position you find yourself, everybody know that yes, this person is qualified to be here. This person has been trained. This person has passed through quality, quality mentorship and all of that. And they also need to have the mindset of equality as a reality, because we keep on talking about equality in our society and everywhere, but some people don't believe that this equality is possible. So my word to all the female leaders, they should have the mindset that equality is what is a reality, that equality is possible, that they can break that yoke and compete with the male leaders. Another thing I also want to talk about is they need to build on their self-confidence. Because of the way the society view the female leaders, they don't have that confidence anymore. They don't feel like they can do it. They don't believe in themselves again. So I believe that they need to build on their self-confidence. And they also need to be smart and fearless, because of the way I've heard over the years, a president of an African country saying that my wife belongs to my kitchen. That is a president saying that his wife belongs to his kitchen. That should be a statement that does not come from a president, the number one citizen of a country. That's to tell you how the society, how the culture, and how the tradition have defined the female leaders. This is wrong. So for all the women listening to us today, I want you to be smart and fearless. Take that bold step, take that action, break the yoke. There's nothing you cannot do. Nothing is impossible for you to do. So to me, the key word I'm going to say in summary is that both male leaders, both the young people, I'm talking about the youth now, and both the female leaders, they need proper mentorship. They can break this line. They can break that mentorship line. I'm telling you, they will be able to become a great leader. Taking, like me, for example, I'm able to be where I am today because of proper mentorship, because of people I've followed. I talk to my mentor every day, every week, every month, and it tells me what I need to do. It tells me how to build on my personal capacity. It tells me how to put myself together. And I felt today that in today's world, that a lot of young people are missing this link. So many of us want to get to the top. We just want to become, one of the most influential leaders in the world. But you cannot pass that place of mentorship. You cannot surpass it. It's very, very needed. Because once you get to that, you realize that there is something that you have missed. And that gap, that will keep on reflecting on your journey. So if you are not trained, if you lack that training, it will be difficult. You might succeed as a leader, but it will be difficult for you, to fully become all that you are designed to
become.
Be as a leader. If you have taken that.
Absolutely. So I want to recap that very important teaching moment here from you, Jude Anumudu, and I can feel your passion for women and men reaching into this part of themselves and actually being successful in it. Because if you have a passion to contribute to your society or to support and lead the way, you definitely have a leadership capacity, and it needs to be developed in you. It's not something that you automatically can follow and just become. I mean, there has to be, as we said before, some substance. And to develop that substance, it's great to be able to work with someone that you admire, that you respect, that you see that substance in. So let's say you're very moved by someone's ability to express themselves in writing, and you believe that you are someone that can do the same because you have some things you want to write into your book one day, but you also want to develop your ideas. You know, having a mentor that's a writer, someone who's published, someone who's a professor at a university working with literature, for example, is a good fit for you. If you decide you want to work in engineering one day and you're studying engineering and you see someone that's done incredible work on the African continent, for example, in science, technology, engineering, and medicine. I know many people like that subject area, and yet we see that there's so many things that are changing in these different industries. And if you find somebody, let's say, that's working in that sector that you admire and respect, it would be great to spend whatever time you could with that person in a mentoring relationship. Very important to know that you have incredible growth to experience if you could find somebody like that. So let's begin to troubleshoot that on our next question, because I already have a few ideas about how we could do that. The second thing you mentioned, Jude, I think it goes for men and women, but it's very specific to women in the way you refer to it, is the personal development. Because right now we can see many women rising to these positions and wanting to contribute more to the community and actually having what it takes, as we said before, to both lead very well, but also to be having their finger on the pulse, we say, of issues that are very important for our social change. Issues that relate to youth, who are the future generation. If there's no one deciding well enough about the future of youth, we don't have enough support for our future leaders. So if women are the ones that are tuned into that space, they need to be there deciding. So if you are a woman and you want to be leading, you're going to be needing to work on your person, on your growth capacity, on your growth mindset. And you mentioned, very importantly, part of that work is to know that it's possible to actually have a future where equality exists. The third thing you mentioned is self-confidence and fearlessness. And this stays with me, being smart and fearless. Being smart and fearless, I say it again, being smart and fearless. If you are a woman looking to develop yourself, I would like you to know that Women of Truth is offering 10 slots for mentors to assist you on your journey. This means that you would take up a serious relationship with one of our female leaders, and we would support you to find a really good match in our community. We have 815 pre-qualified members in our private Facebook group. You can jump into that group. It's called Women of Truth Yin. And this is a place where we have entrepreneurs, we have women who are finding their direction, and we have global female leaders and speakers that we've collaborated with before, and those that we are yet to collaborate with in the group. And we will begin a process of attracting mentors and match them up with you to begin to help you have someone in your industry or thereabouts, or someone that has an aspect of leadership that can support you on your journey. We have many women who've worked on the African continent, many who are in Europe, many who work on global change projects, which happen to be in 60 countries globally, and many women focused on the SDGs. We have therapists, authors, engineers, scientists, doctors, therapists, as I mentioned, counselors, you name it. So it's a wonderful resource. Can't promise that you'll find exactly the person you want. They have to be willing to offer their time, able to support, but we will do a matchmaking process to support 10 women with that. Having said that, let's also discuss options for mentoring with a great colleague of ours. Dr. Monish Jindal was on the call yesterday. His colleague, Dr. Nancy Juneja, both from India, was on the call the night before. They both represent an organization called MentorX. They have expanded now to 60 countries, and they are looking to grow to 200 countries by next year. So I want to suggest this group to you, Jude. I would love to put you in contact with them. Let's have a call at some point with Dr. Monish. I'm sure there are ways that we can get your platform connected to them, and we can begin to see how they could support the process as well. Because if mentoring is really one of our biggest steps forward, then we should do what we can to connect our colleagues and partners together so we can offer it. Then the personal growth aspect, very important. And then also how to be smart and fearless. Jude, what do you think? What are some tips you could give people for that?
Okay, I wanted to actually draw attention back because we had plan of empowering 100 young people in Africa on mentorship. Okay, on mentorship. That program now, me and my team, we are working on that program. So possibly by next year, we'll be launching the mentorship program by the special grace of God. And I've heard about Mentor S. Mentor S is also based in the African continent. In fact, the founder of Mentor S is also a colleague of mine. So I've also discussed I've discussed with him about this program we want to launch now. And thank you also for bringing the Mentor S forward. I would also like to connect. You can connect with Dr. Ellen with me on the Mentor S. I will also appreciate that. Okay. One of the things I wanted to also boil down again is like the mentorship you talked about is very, very important. Having that the same vision too. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. And also with my partner again from US, we're also working on a project in Africa called Project 54. Project 54 is also focused on leadership too. So my partner, that project now, if you check my Facebook account, you will see I've created, if you search Project 54 on Facebook, you will learn about the project. So what is Project 54? Project 54 is focused on empowering young leaders in all the African countries. Why we created the project with my partner, we want to make sure that because in African continent, we have 54 countries. So our plan is that in each country, we're going to select, it's going to be a competitive application because we're going to be selecting one person from all the African countries to travel to US to attend John Maxwell leadership training. So now we are selecting both male and female. So I'm also encouraging the female leaders listening to me now. This project is for you people. So don't feel so bad about it. So once it's up, check my Facebook handle. You will see an application how to apply to be part of the project. So we are selecting 54 young leaders across African countries, and we'll take them to US and train them for 2 months. After the training, they will be redeployed back to their communities in their respective countries to replicate the training they have been trained. So my partner is working with John Maxwell. They're working with John Maxwell team. So the whole vision is to incubate them on the John Maxwell leadership strategies and training. So they can go back to their respective communities and implement the same thing. Now, mind me, one of the greatest challenges we have in African continent is what? The issue of leadership. That's why we are bringing this project up.
Yes.
Because we believe that if young people, which is what I keep saying, that the youth are the future leaders of tomorrow. So if young people can be properly trained, so these issues of bad leadership we are experiencing today in Africa, we believe that in years to come, with the youth will be the one that will change the leadership. And Africa will be great again. So that is why there is a need for proper training and mentorship.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we stand with you. And we are really, really glad to actually be contributing to this conversation, because youth issues and young people getting the kind of support, wisdom, and guidance from all the people that have had a life to live already and have learned a few things about integrity, about management, about personal growth, about patience, about the ego, can do an enormous amount to really support people on their journey that want to become more contributory to their communities. So it's a very important conversation that we're having tonight, because I can see from it, Project 54 is going to be looking at 54 leaders who could become future change makers, future change leaders that will take their knowledge back and support their communities even more with what they've learned. If you need anything from me, I'm very happy to be there, available to help in any way possible. I would let you know that I've actually seen Project 54 promoted. I think it might have been on your page, or maybe it was on the homepage. And I think it's so important that we support the vision of the future with our own faith and our own intention to have created in our mind's eye the kind of future we wish to have. So is it possible that this could be an opportunity for us to exponentially shift out of problematic, broken systems, lying, cheating, corruption, not expecting enough from ourselves as human beings, and actually shift the paradigm to a place where we can actually bring in smart, fearless, emotionally compassionate, collaborative leaders who have great vision and who really walk the talk. They deal with their stuff. They don't have to be perfect, but they at least try and bring some excellence into their work and into their life and into their leadership, and actually build a future where we have a totally different example of what we've had in the past. I mean, I think we're living in a time now where this paradigm shift is not only possible, but it's very needed for us to stay in harmony with the planet. But more so, it's way more exciting, way more intelligent than what we've had before. I want to thank you, Jude, for your contribution to Women of Truth and what you've shared with us tonight. Very important to hear a young male leader doing such great work in collaboration with others to take it even further, and to hear you speak so committedly and supportedly for women leaders to rise. I really value that very much, and I look forward to our conversation expanding with Mentor X and many other opportunities. We can build out this 10 women support through Women of Truth. At some point when you have scope for it, we can actually build some campaign to make it happen. If you're on the live stream watching and you want more information, jump on over to the Women of Truth Facebook page. It's a community page, and send me a message there, and I will be able to communicate with you and send the links for the application for the mentoring. And we will be posting Project 54 there as well, and onto this video once Jude sends me some details. Come back to it and I will give you the application details for that. And I also want to give the last words over to you, Jude. What is your final message to young people?
My last word to young people is especially to the female leaders, okay? Female leader listening to me, I strongly encourage you, try to be fearless, okay? I think the best thing I can use is fearless, because of the way the community have defined the female leaders. They seem to be discouraged. They don't have that boldness enough. So my last word for them is invest on your personal development. Be fearless and build on your self-confidence. I think with these three things, they can go far in life, and they can do anything and fill any position they have been assigned to do, or whatever they've been given to do. So thank you so much once again, Women of Truth. In fact, one of the things I do so much in my work is that I promote women in every area I find myself. So I support them with all my heart, with love and caring. So when I see a female leader doing well, I support them so much. In fact, my organization I'm building now with some of my team, I'm telling them that I want a female leaders to be part of our co-founders, because I still feel that gap, that because the co-founder are male. So I was telling my team that we need a female leader in our midst to be part of our co-founder, because I feel that there is something unique about it, which that person can bring once she comes into the organization. So be fearless, build your self-confidence, and invest in yourself. This is my last word. And to all the female leaders listening to me now, I encourage you to go to the Facebook page of Women of Truth. There is a lot to learn there, and try to be part of the movement, because there is something unique about them. With them, I believe with all this, that women need to become a leader. With them, you can learn this from them. So thank you so much, Elaine, and thank you to everybody, and thank you to Women of Truth. It's my pleasure being part of this summit. Thank you.
Such a pleasure talking with you, collaborating, and seeing this great passion and support you have for others. I want people to also know about the Leadership Assembly. You do some great projects in collaboration with leaders who come and speak to inspire the group of participants around the world. So if you are a young leader, or you're looking into leadership, into your future, thinking, how can you have a bigger impact? How can you learn self-leadership? How can you get into a conversation with global young people who have a bigger vision for their future? This is a great one to think about. Leadership Assembly also specializes, as you heard, on the African continent, even though they have global participants. They are looking to support you if you are in Africa and you want to learn to break the old pattern of leadership that we see everywhere in the world that makes us lose heart, that makes us lose hope for humanity. If you feel like you can turn that around and you've got what it takes, you've got the hope, the passion, the power in you, the inspiration in you, I really want to encourage you to get into networks like this one, Leadership Assembly. Get behind how they can support you and how you can support them. Get them in your corner, get into their corner, support each other, because there is nothing more powerful for the growth mindset than positive social connections. If you have enough time with people that support your dream and vision for a greater future, for your highest potential, you can nothing but succeed. Find these people through the Leadership Chamber, through Women of Truth, as you can look at the box for future connection and look at our pages. We will be informing you on how you can apply to be either mentored by one of us at Women of Truth or to actually apply for the Project 54. And we would love to see you succeed and love to hear about your achievements and your progress. So we welcome any comments or questions. You can send them straight to Jude Anumudu, as you see hyperlinked on my pages, or you can send them to me, and we would love to continue a little conversation with you about how to support you. Thanks so much, Jude, and all the work that you're doing over there at the Leadership Assembly is inspiring to us. We support it, and we stay in collaboration with you to take it further in whatever way you think we can. Thanks for your input, and thank you to everybody watching tonight. It's been great to have you here, and we look forward to more. Take care, but this closes the Youth Summit. Make sure that you go back and watch previous videos if you want more inspiration or you have new ideas, thinking how you can implement them. Go back, check our work on entrepreneurship, on health, on many conversations that have been instrumental in changing us into a more positive version of the future. And as we say in all of our work together, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Take care and good night.